Hello, everyone. Welcome to a psalm for today. Your reassuring voice that Jesus is Lord. I'm in front of a sign I had made for our backyard for my PhD celebration. It says, "A promise fulfilled." A promise fulfilled. When I talk to people about dreams, hopes, promises made when they were young, one mitigating one downside, keeping people, or a barrier, let's say, keeping people from going after their promises and having them fulfilled, is fear. Fear is a paralyzing emotion. Fear can keep us locked in status quo. It can keep us locked in from fulfilling our promises that we made to ourselves, promises that we made to others, promises that we made to God. When I was young, probably before 7, so 5 or 6 years old, I decided that I wanted to get a doctorate degree. And then from there, I promised Dr. Glandon I would get a doctorate degree when I was around 10 or 11, 12, somewhere in there. And followed through. When I selected my degree program at Northwest University, I selected an academic degree so that I would be prepared for seminary. I did a degree in religion and philosophy with a minor in Greek and ethics, if I remember correctly. I know the Greek part. That was tough. Little plane flying over there. By the way, welcome to our backyard, our ministry recovery center. Our ambition is for people to visit with us, stay in our guest room, sit in the backyard, talk, and just have a chance to unwind and revision and reinvigorate. The promise fulfilled is often hindered by fear. Fear comes in all different kinds, all different styles, all different degrees. One guy, Dr. Carl Albrecht, identified fear in 5 types, and this has been helpful. It's not like a neurological definition of fear. It's kind of a practical way for guys like you and me to understand fear. Number 1, there's the fear of extinction, he says. This is the fear of death, the fear of ceasing to exist. There's the fear of mutilation. That's the fear of losing a body part or being invaded physically, some type of physical harm or damage. Third is a loss of autonomy, fear of being restricted or trapped. Maybe claustrophobia fits in there, the fear of being restricted or trapped. I do not like to feel restricted or trapped. Oh man, I don't like that. And one time in Israel, you could go into the cistern and walk up the water pathway that David's men walked up into Jerusalem. But I got close. I thought, I'm not going to do it. Well, come to find out, our group got about halfway through, and some rabbi had stopped in the middle to teach his kids or his students, I don't know their age, a lesson. And so people were stuck in this tiny little cavern, not even a cavern, like a hole, a tube, let's say a dugout tube, for a long time. I would not have done well. So there is that loss of autonomy, fear of being restricted or trapped. Number 4 is separation. There's a fear of rejection, a fear of abandonment. Many people don't step out into their promises for fear that they will be rejected in the process, or that people won't go with them in the process, fear of rejection or abandonment. Or if it doesn't go well, the 5th type of fear Carl Albrecht identified is humiliation, the fear of shame, the fear of embarrassment, the fear of disapproval. When we make promises to ourselves, we make promises to God, promises to others. These types of fears can manifest in our life. These kinds of fears can be present. The fear that that I'm just not going to exist anymore as I am, or that my physical space will be in danger, or I'll be restricted and trapped. I'll be rejected or abandoned. I'll be shamed or embarrassed, or I'll receive disapproval. Well, this is a psalm for today. Psalm 27, 1-3, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? So Psalm 27, 1-3, verses 1-3, remind us that many of our fears are unfounded because the Lord is watching out for us. Psalm 34, 4, I sought the Lord and he answered me, and he delivered me from all my fears. So Psalm 34, 4 reminds us of God's delivering power. Psalm 46, 1-3, and verse 10, God is our refuge and strength, and ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear. And then my favorite psalm, Psalm 23, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Fear is an immobilizer. God's grace, God's presence, God's nearness is a liberator. We are liberated. I think in the book of Hebrews, it talks about people who've been held captive all their lives by the fear of death. When we know Christ, death is not fearful for us. Or if it is, we remind ourselves he's with us. Even if I walk through life's darkest valley, thou art with me. Fear of things that are out of our control. Fear of things that we have done in the past that God has forgiven. On the Second Curve coaching interview with John Molina, I asked him when he started his second curve, which was leaving prison or jail and moving into the life outside. I said, what was the biggest challenge? He said, fear. Of course, it makes sense. The way we're wired is to have a response to the unknown. But we can take heart because the Lord is my light. The Lord knows. This is Psalm 27:1. The Lord knows. So it's only unknown to us. It's not unknown to him. Psalm 34, I sought the Lord. The power of prayer to say, Lord, in the midst of this fear, I'm stepping out into a new curve. I'm stepping out to a new venture. I have a fear of finances or fear of fill in the blank. I sought the Lord. We can take our fears to God and seek the Lord. Psalm 46, he's our refuge and strength and ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear. In this instance, fear can be chosen. We can choose not to fear. Therefore, I will not fear. Just say it where you are. I will not be afraid. I'm trusting in God, and I will not be afraid. And the presence of God is Psalm 23:4. That is the key to the entire 23rd Psalm. The first part of the Psalm and the last part of the Psalm is not meaningful unless God is with us, unless the Good Shepherd is with us. I was speaking to a friend today about the most meaningful ministry there is, the ministry of presence, of being with people. And we turned it into mental, academic, go to school, learn Greek, learn Hebrew, get this degree, that degree, the other degree. But the essence of ministry is being with people and reflecting the image of Jesus to them. So this week we will be talking about Psalms to navigate fear, Psalms to abate fear, fear abatement. We will be speaking about fears that are natural. You know, if you hear a bear roar, it's good to be afraid, especially if you don't have a gun. And then there's other fears that are less cognizant, less a part of reality. So, brothers and sisters, as you go to sleep tonight, as you begin your day, and all the situations in between where people watch, I want to remind you that fear is a normal human emotion given to us by our Creator, designed for specific purposes, and we can trust God in the midst of all of our fears, and we can move forward into our new curve because we have a promise fulfilled.